Namaskar and welcome to the Cambridge Core Group podcast. I'm Soumya.
And I'm Bhavini, and we welcome you all to the yet another episode of Cambridge Code Group podcast, Teen Seeds. In this episode, we'll be talking about the ongoing teen trends, the pressure of keeping up, generational gap, and also the pop culture.
Now, as you might have guessed, your hosts are Gen Zs, obviously.
And now, if you all are not living under a rock, let's be honest, we all are aware of this term generational gap, where it seems like we're divided into these three sections. Gen Zs,
That is us,
the Gen Alpha,
people that came after us,
and then the millennials.
the ones that came before us.
And because of this difference between our age gap, there is often miscommunication and often a tussle between our generation.
Basically, Gen Z, as in our generation, is often called too casual or too nonchalant.
Like recently, my mom came up to me saying, why don't you work hard? Why don't you, spend 3 to 4 hours every day for your studies? And that's when it hits me. Yes, maybe it's because of the ideology of my school, the Cambridge Cove group of school, that I'm so used to smart hard work.
This ideology entails that you don't have to spend the entirety of your life focusing towards one goal. You could spend just some productive hours towards it.
So it's like a race where everybody is running, but apparently nobody is winning.
It's not always one generation versus the other. It's often the conflict within the generation itself. And the first thing when I think of that which comes to my mind is peer pressure.
I believe nowadays it's more like what my peers want me to wear. What is the trending place to go? What is the more aesthetically pleasing Instagram friendly place I should go in? So it's not me who is dictating my life anymore. It's more over the peers, it's more over the social media which is.
And even birthday parties. There was a time which I remember where I used to wear pink frilly dresses. All my friends used to come to my place. We used to have like wafers and pasta, something like that. Our mothers used to prepare all of it, and it was, honestly, those are the memories I cherish the most.
And it's not cool anymore, because somehow for our generations, it's important to be what's in the trend. Because right now, if you give you guys an example, it's not in trend to celebrate your birthdays in school. It's not in trend to celebrate your birthdays at home. And you have to keep up with the trend. And this conflict between the generations, it does not end here. Because you believe it or not, our parents suffer from it as well. I'll give you an example, Soumya. Nowadays, as I said, it's a trend to celebrate your birthdays at fanciest places. Is our generation asking that question to our parents?
Furthermore, it's not always, if we have the financial means for it. It's often those means have a better use. Perhaps, a class that you could go to or a course that you could join. And this communication, I believe, is so incredibly necessary to have with our parents, the people around us and our peers.
So, and because we are talking about the financial statements, we are talking about this communication, I believe Cambridge Core group of schools have such incredible role in it. I believe when I entered in my grade 11th, Miss Lata Rawat ma'am took an orientation with the parents and the students hand in hand to talk about the real life problems which we can face as whole together and talk about it.
And to our dear audience, just so you have the pleasure of hearing the words of ma'am herself, here's a small clip for you.
That's
आपके friends आपको help कर सकते हैं. But then, when it comes to any psychological problems or big problems of your life, keep in touch with your parents. डांटेंगे, बोलेंगे, maybe you at times will find them outdated, but they are the only people who will help you. And unfortunately, I'm really telling you seriously, unfortunately this generation has lost that touch with their parents. If not now, once they enter into the universities. That is really, it's not bad for the parents. मैं बहुत clear बोलती हूँ. हमको दुख होगा थोड़ी देर, भूल जाएंगे parents. उसके बाद they feel bad. We did so much for them and they'll forget about it. It's your loss because your friends of your age group with same experience, same exposure cannot be experts to tell you what you should do when you're in crisis. When you're in crisis or crisis, छोटे-छोटे problems को crisis नहीं बोलती हूँ. That you can handle on your own. Psychological problems, any problems about life, they are the people who will guide you. So my biggest advice to all of you is don't cut off from them completely. Be in touch with them. that is going to help you throughout your lifetime. जो parents की blessings होती है कभी और से आ ही नहीं सकती. It's not just help and support. It's the blessings. बेटा जाओ, our blessings are with you. शायद आपको आज के डेट में उस blessings की कोई value नहीं लगती होगी. But you must have heard that word kavach. You know this Israel what they have made a dome, which because of it the missiles cannot actually enter. So parents का जो आशीर्वाद होता है ना, it's like that dome, which is around your life. कुछ भी आती है ना, वो bounce back करके वापस ले लेना पड़ता है.
That brought back so many memories, and because we are talking about this communication gap between our parents, it's so important to talk about financial literacy amongst the students as well. And because of that, the Cambridge Core group of schools has proposed beautiful financial literacy ideas, which I am currently a part of as well. So I believe it's beautiful how our school is advocating so much towards this parent and students relationship.
And while we're on that topic, we should also talk about how there's a recent influx of parents joining social media as a means to communicate with their children and their friends. And another way that Cambridge Court has bridged that gap is through student-parent interviews. And to our audience, if you go to our social media, you will see numerous interviews of students of all ages with their parents talking it out on camera. And it's beautiful when you see that every problem, every conflict is fixed through communication.
I believe, Soumya, the culture in our school is so incredibly beautiful and different from any other schools I've been to. Specifically, I'll share an incident with you. Recently, I was with my grandmother and we were talking over a cup of tea and she asked me a question. You spend 6 hours a day in a school.
And one of the first things I noticed when I came to Cambridge Court was how when I entered, everybody greeted me with a warm namaskar. And I naturally imbibed that in myself too. And now it is one of the first things that anybody else notices about me. And it's not, just a namaskar. It's the relationship between the teachers and the students or the students themselves. It's truly so beautiful at Cambridge Court because we come together as a community of people and we work together towards a stronger communication for all of us.
I completely agree, Soumya, and I believe it's not just the Indian traditional values. I believe Cambridge Court Group School has done such incredible job in building such valuable emotional connections within teachers, within students and even within ourselves. I believe in this realm where every one of us is involved in our fast-paced life, Cambridge Court provides a platform for you to take a pause, look towards yourself and try to comprehend where you went wrong or try to comprehend the relationship which you have with the teachers or relationship which you have with anyone.
That is so beautifully put, Bhavini, and that brings us to the end of this episode.
So see you guys in the very next episode of Teen Scenes in upcoming videos. Bye.